started the office, constructed up there. We're waiting for the electrician to get it finished wiring in there before we get and inspected, before we get the insulation and the drywall in. Otherwise, it's it just, when it works for everybody, they come in and work on it kind of at their leisure, shall we say. But it's a nice place to work now.
Well, I figured with snow removal, that kind of got in the way a little bit, I'm guessing, so.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody else have anything? Stan?
What's your procedure and policy on clearing off blacktop roads and after a snow?
We go down through and just plow them, grader, and then trucks with sand and salt on behind.
Because I had a complaint, and at least I know what the policy is.
Yeah.
And how if it happens on a weekend, like on a Sunday, do you wait till Monday then, or?
Depending on how much snow we have, but most likely, yes.
Okay.
So.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I think that I can speak from experience a couple times over the last month that me and Harvey have talked on the phone between 5 and 5:30 in the morning, so he's out and looking at the roads at that point in time too, so that's kind of.
I'm sure they can't go till it quits snowing and blowing.
It is kind of a waste of money to be out there when it's snowing and blowing, because it's coming right back in behind you. It encourages people to get out and play around, and then they can't get back. And so I would rather wait and save a little money and just go out and do it all after it gets done.
So when Perennial has a problem,
We go.
you go. They call you then, or what does?
Yes.
Okay.
For some reason, when I walk into a room and flip on the light switch, I like it to work. And when it doesn't, you don't have water, you don't have heat.
Right.
So yes, we work with the power companies to get them to and from where we can.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? Thanks, Harv.
You bet, have a good one.
Thanks.
Any other officials this morning? Rex, do you got something this morning?
No. I guess some information, regarding that Road 4.
4th Street?
Yeah. Doing some rereading, and you want these?
Thanks.
I had seen in the road record book that it talked about a county road being opened. It started on the East County line on Road 12, came west to the southeast corner of Section 5, where that road goes through, goes north. It's in the road records, it says it goes north until 6th Street, and then goes west to the west side of Lincoln Avenue. Kind of putting some odds and ends together. The city of York was established in 1869, and this, I'm not sure exactly the definition of draught, but in the road records it says Draught Road, or Draught 27, and it was opened in 1872, so only 3 years after the city of York was started. And there's no evidence that the road ever extended east on 6th Street, but this set of road records is a little vague. It just says, you know, basically what I just said, and you've got copies of it. The counties were also allowed to designate or take whatever width of road they thought was necessary at that time. So they didn't necessarily take 33 feet each side of section line. I question kinda using that odd reasoning that the road was built from the east county line, came to the east side of section 5, went up to the half-mile line, which is where the road is at, and then came west to basically take you to the courthouse in York. So it's very possible that the county opened a road on the half-mile line and not exactly on Sixth Street like they said. There's no specific part to it. In the sketch, this sketch, it's drawn to the half-mile line. And then it's vaguely drawn up to at a slight angle. So I'm wondering if the road wasn't, like a half road, wasn't open on the half-mile line. And the aerial photo that you have, is from 1938. And you can see in that photo that, well, in my opinion, you can see that road is being used rather substantially. So, it's more than just the residents on that road that I would say was using it. So, kind of my thought process is a road was brought in from the east side of the county down into the courthouse in 1872. So,
Okay.
there's the possibility that that road was opened, but not at the same standard as what most county roads are.
Most county roads are now.
Yes,
It might have been to the standard that it
Yes.
was then.
yes, because I have run across one road in the southwest part of the county that was 27 feet wide. So,
Okay,
food for thought.
okay. Thanks, Rex. Did you have any,
No, I think that's good for now, thanks.
any other officials this morning? Seeing none, we'll move on to public forum. Anybody in the public would like to speak for a couple minutes on an item that is not on the agenda may do so at this time. Morning, Willard.
Morning, Willard Peterson, 514 Road 13, my address is Bradshaw. My address is, it should be Bradshaw. My address is York, I'm a proud resident of the area of Bradshaw. And this is in regard to the Honorable Mr. Rex Hyden's information right now. I will just reiterate the same thing I said last time. Don't spend a dime on that road, no matter what, because the high odds are the city of York is going to annex that stuff sometime, and I don't see spending county money on it. If it sort of works now, I don't see spending county money on it, fixing that road more or less for the city of York.
Thanks, Willard. Anybody else from the public this morning? Seeing none, we'll move on down the agenda. There is no general assistance cases, so next up is review and approve payroll and vendor claims. There is no additional claims. There is a correction on one that was put in as RLI, and it should be Nebraska Secretary of State Notary Division. Looks like this was for a stamp that was in there, so we just had a name change on that one. Do you know which account that was in? Okay, communications. Okay. Other than that, did anybody have any questions on that weren't answered already?
Some large claims this month,
Yes. Yes.
more, Bill's not here to point out the, medical for the
Right.
prisoners. We have very large bill there. With that, I would move that we approve the vendor and payroll claims as presented with the, correction.
Thank you, Daniel.
Second.
Thank you, Jack. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Gross.
Yes.
Sykes.
Yes.
Bear.
Yes.
And Overmeyer.
Yes, no funding transfers needed today. Next up was brought to our attention that we had not declared a vacancy for District Two, for the Commissioners District Two yet. Felt like it was probably a good idea, even though that is in full swing right now. So at this point in time, we just entertain a motion to declare a vacancy in District Two for the Commissioners.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Any other discussion regarding this? Roll call, please.
Gross.
Yes.
Sykes.
Yes.
Bear.
Yes.
Overmeyer.
Yes. Okay, next up, we need to discuss and act on reappointing Harvey Keim as Highway Superintendent.
I so move.
I assume he wants to be reappointed as Highway Superintendent.
Sure, I'm here.
Thanks, Dan.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Daniel. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Bear.
Yes.
Gross.
Yes.
Sykes.
Yes.
Overmeyer.
Yes. Okay, flying right along.
Mhm.
I assume you're up next. Discuss and act on signing an addendum number 1, adding the city of Milford as a party interlocal agreement.
Morning.
Good morning.
This is an addendum to the Zerker interlocal agreement between Butler County, York, Seward, and Saline. Milford PD had came to us asking if he could join our region on this software product. We did the research and there is no cost to expand our servers. So this addendum basically just says that Milford is responsible for their cost. They're signing into this interlocal agreement and has to be part of that contract unless they give us a written statement within 60 months. But that's really all it is, saying that they're responsible for their own cost, joining our Zerker software system.
And everybody within those jurisdictions have to sign off on it. So
Correct.
this is going in front of the Seward County
Yes.
and Butler County.
Yep.
And that's all happening
Right now.
right now.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So we'll just sign, chairman will ask the chairman to sign, approval for the chairman to sign, and then we get it back.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep,
and
they'll
then
add
it
all
looks
the
like the county
signatures together.
attorneys have to sign also.
Correct, and I had Chris look at it back in November and he said he was okay with it.
Okay,
Does the city have to sign that also?
Correct, so County of Seward, City of Seward, City of York, County of York, County of Saline and County of Butler have to sign this, and then now City of Milford.
any other questions?
Is this, this is just for the, software side that, so they'll be utilizing the software that we also utilize?
Correct, so we went into a, multi-county purchase.
Okay, yep,
Seward is the primary on that purchase that paid all the bills and they disseminated everything to us, so they're like sole responsible.
Mhm.
But we had to put that interlocal in place just to make sure everybody knew their responsibilities.
right.
Yes.
Yep.
Anything else? Okay, entertain a motion to do this.
So moved
I'll
for
second.
the chairman to sign the petition.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you, Stan. Any other questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Sykes.
Yes.
Bear.
Yes.
Gross.
Yes.
Overmeyer.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll get it signed today.
Thank you.
Okay, discuss and act on a revised cost match letter for Aging Services Safe Room.
Good morning.
Morning.
Still working on the application, their last request for information, they wanted a quote, they wanted detailed quotes of what the costs are and everything. And part of that was engineering costs, so they wanted engineering specs, and that increased the cost of the overall safe room. The dilemma that I run into is that if I get a quote, they're not allowed to bid on the project, which is terrible.
Right.
So I'm kinda working with the vendor, and I checked with NEMA, and they said, well, just get a ballpark estimate. Well, companies aren't just gonna give you a ballpark estimate either, so, I'm gonna submit, you know, what this one vendor gave me, and, I'm gonna put in my notes there too, that it's, you know, just a ballpark and go by what NEMA tells me. But it did increase the cost, it's about 29,000 right now is the estimate. That could go up, but it's still a 90% cost match, so we only have to pay 10%. So all these around 3,000 cost for the county, but I put this match letter up to 4,000 just to say, just to cover us in case increased costs and that. The original one we did was for 2,000, and that wasn't gonna cut it now with it. I'm still waiting on the Nebraska Emergency Management Agency to get back to me on a new benefit cost analysis, since our cost went up. They have to do a benefit cost analysis, and I haven't received that back from them yet. But as soon as I get that back, that should be everything that they requested in their last request for information.
Okay.
And then we'll see what they say after this.
Okay.
So,
All right,
this is just to replace the first one, that was 2,000.
it's now 4. Any questions for Gary?
Do we, I mean, it's kind of one of those things where you use it once and you're glad you had it. And so, I mean, being that there's a grant to help us out and get this there, mainly it's to protect our employees at this
Correct.
facility, correct?
Yeah, and the trouble with this, the way they have things designated too, there's only 2 designations. It's either a home classification or a community shelter. And so they dropped us in the community shelter, which adds more things to it too.
Right.
We have to put additional things inside the safe room, which takes up space. And so I double checked with Lori on the capacity that she would need. And originally, you know, I put in the grant 11 person, and I checked with her, and she said, well, probably gonna be 9 at the most. She said a lot of people are just gonna leave anyway. And so I lowered the total capacity that we're looking at now at 9. That should allow me enough square footage. If FEMA comes back and doesn't like something, then we have to increase the square footage, which is gonna increase the cost greatly.
Right.
It's, I mean, the 4,000 isn't even gonna cover it there. So,
And when it's all said and done, if we don't qualify for the grant, we can
Right.
still do a shelter, and it's gonna be much cheaper than
yeah, I
the
think,
$28,000.
I see, right.
yeah,
Because the
they're just
concrete, as
certain-
you see, the concrete slab in there is like $8,200
Right.
bucks. I mean, it's, the design of it is
yeah, and-
overkill.
yeah, well, they want engineering specs, and this company, you know, if they're gonna provide the engineering spec, they're charging like $8,000 for
Right.
engineering specs. And, yeah.
So we'll take it and see where it goes, and
Yeah.
we'll know then. And once again, you know, we're not committed, even, if we're saying this, but I
Yeah.
guess we don't have to follow through.
Sure.
I still think we need to have some form of shelter
Sure.
in that building
Right.
for our employees, just like we have it at the extension office and at the roads department, and, you know, obviously here, it's built into the building, so.
Yeah, and I did discuss with Lori about putting it inside, you know, to save on concrete costs, but she said there wasn't enough room,
Sure.
and I understand that, but even if we put it inside, we'd have to get an engineer to come in there and do specs on the concrete to make sure
I
that
see,
it met
right.
the standards.
Yep.
Cause it has to meet certain standards too.
Yep.
And these structures, you know, are basically lag bolted down into the concrete, and it meets this, you know, the FEMA guidelines, so,
Okay. Any other questions? Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Thank you, Jack.
Second?
Thank you, Daniel. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Sykes,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Fair,
Yes.
Overmeyer.
Yes. Okay, next,
Comment,
okay.
during the Second World War, all they got was a trenching tool.
Yeah, well, I'll keep you updated on the status of everything.
Okay.
So, thank you very much.
Thanks, Gary.
All right.
Okay, last fall, we did have, an opening on the Planning and Zoning Committee, and this is only the Planning and Zoning Committee. Mr. Everly had stepped down from this. He also sat on the Board of Adjustments, which we will need to, look for. I did reach out to Mr. Hirschfield, and then Willard had actually offered his services also on this one. So we, after a long delay, we did have a couple names. I would recommend that Mr. Hirschfield, being active in the ag community, was part of the zoning process with the chicken barns they put up there. And he is also somebody that had came, through Gary's recommendation also, that is Gary Everly. So at this point in time, now this appointment would be just to finish out the term, and I believe that's the end of August, 1st September,
August,
somewhere in
yes.
there. Finish out, and then Chad said he would think about it after that, and I suppose he probably wants to know how the zoning goes first. That we'll be diving into within the next week finally, so, at this point in time, I'd entertain a motion to appoint Chad Hirschfield to finish out Gary Everly's term on the Planning and Zoning Committee.
I would make that motion.
Thank you,
Second.
thank you. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Sykes,
Yes.
Fair,
Yes.
Overmeyer.
Yes. Okay, next up, discuss and act on reappointing, and that was, I believe there was a resolution in here. Did you have the resolution?
I give it to you.
Oh, I was wondering what that was. I have it.
Okay, for the Four Corners Board, we have, all the terms were up as of the 1st of this month. And so we have a resolution now to reappoint those. Jack, I don't know if you want to speak to this or not. You were in conversation with Laura, I assume, about this?
Some of the other counties have already acted upon these, but the doctor appointment is for 2 years. The dentist appointment, or they've got it here as a physician, is Elizabeth Papanow. She was appointed 1 year to finish the term of Scott Weeding when Scott left. So her appointment would be for 1 year. And then she's a dentist, and Jim Ehrlich for a 3-year term as a spirited member. Each county is to appoint 1 spirited member and 1 person from the commissioners. And the doctors and the dentists have to be appointed by a majority of the 4 county boards. And I believe Laura told me that Seward's already approved those.
Ran it through. Okay, so in front of us, we'll have a resolution to appoint, once again, Jim Ulrich, he is at the hospital. He'll be our spirited member for a 3-year term running from January 1, 2023 through December 31st, 2025. Dr. Jillian Fickinger, her term will be for a 2-year, January 1, 2023 through December 31st of 2024. And Elizabeth Papanow, the dentist, will be from January 1, 2023 through the end of this year, December 31st, 2023. And that is by resolution. And that is what Laura had written up. I don't know if she copied it. It looked all right, I guess, to me.
Move that we adopt said resolution.
Thank you, Daniel.
Second.
Thank you, Stan. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Brooks,
Yes.
Bear,
Yes.
Sykes,
Yes.
Omenauer.
Yes. And as Jack stated, there will be a member from this board also on that board, and those appointments hopefully will be taken care of at the next commissioner meeting. Next up, we need to discuss and act on affordable housing drawdown number 7. And that is for the amount of $31,348.92. And this is one that we've actually been kind of waiting on.
December 2nd.
Yeah, for a little while now.
And we have received those funds.
Yes, we received the funds and the treasurers has, done her job of getting them all in there. Yep. Received them.
Sometimes they're a little slow
Mm-hmm.
at the state level for some
Right.
reason. So we just have to, we've already approved it, like Kelly
Yep.
said, back December 2nd, we already approved it, so we just have to approve the drawdown now.
Motion to approve the drawdown.
Thank you, Jack.
Second?
Thank you, Daniel. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Sykes,
Yes.
Brooks,
Yes.
Bear,
Yes.
and Omenauer.
Yes. Okay, that brings us kind of to the end of the agenda, at least this agenda. We have another one at 9:15 for the Board of Equalization, so, at this point in time, do we have some committee reports to go over? Jack, you got anything?
I did go to Region 5 for, Bill was introduced to their board. I listened to their finance or search committee looking for a new CEO. Sounds to me like they did a really thorough job of vetting about 80 applicants. The board agreed to approve the search committee's recommendation, and they hired, I think his name is Reichert, not Reichert.
I can't remember which, he was in-house, wasn't he?
He was in-house, he already worked for him. And I did get an email from him, and that's all I've gotten. I'll find his name and tell you
Okay.
later.
Do you have anything else?
That's it.
No Four Corners, yeah?
We are trying to get a meeting set up for February, I think 13th, but they're doodling that.
Okay.
Where were you at the aging meeting?
I wasn't there, was I? I was in the hospital. Sorry.
You could have had it there.
Sounds like a good reason. I know you're new, Stan, but you got anything?
Yeah, I went to Kearney to the NACO meeting,
Oh, to the new,
new commissioners, there were 42 of us.
okay,
So I thought, well, that's quite a few, but then when I think 93 counties, that's only about half of each one had, and I don't know if they were all there.
I was gonna say probably not, but,
So 42 were there, and it was great, it was good, they did a great job, and they encouraged us to spend money, of course, on all these different factions, and it made sense, it made sense, the roads, just, with bigger equipment, we need to update our bridges and roads, because that's what makes our economy flow in York County, and we're dependent on the rural area as well as the city areas, but and they just kept saying, make sure your people are well-trained, and that we stay in touch with what needs to be done, and keep things going, and so all the different areas, and we had the sheriff talk from, North Platte. He was very interesting, and he told me, he said to the group that between Grand Island and Denver, he has the biggest mental health facility in the state, in his jail, with 300 some people in his jail. And he came down to tears, because he's talking about all the situations he's gone through in his lifetime, and the letters he gets sometimes from some people that thank him for what he did. It's a tough job. To be a correction officer would be an amazingly tough job. You need to be a psychiatrist and whatnot. So, it was well worth attending, so. That's what I did,
Was it a 1 day or 2 day?
1 day,
1 day.
yeah.
John Cannon
Yeah, John
leading
Cannon.
most of it.
Kind of an interesting thing is they asked the audience if we needed to go home early. It was supposed to go to 5. John Cannon asked the question, and there were a number of people that had a basketball game they wanted to go to, so they said, well, we'll cut Meredith off, Candace Meredith off, and she agreed to it.
Yeah.
So then he taught at the end, and he went way over 5 o'clock. So, it didn't bother me, but some other people probably weren't too happy about it.
Okay.
Ready?
Yes.
If I can interject. The man's name is Patrick Freifels.
Okay. Daniel, do you have anything?
Not a whole lot. Tech committee keeps working on a few things, doing some presentations in front of the board here coming up in the next few, meetings. Also, we keep talking to different vendors regarding websites. Roads department, next week will be, the 1 and 6 will be in front of us. So we'll be looking to approve that plan. And yeah,
Did he have some hard copies? Was does he have them done?
Yeah.
Cause I think it's there's a public hearing for it the next meeting.
correct.
Yeah,
Yep.
so he'll
Yeah,
get
I've got
those.
some copies to, that we
Pass
can
out.
review prior to that.
Right. Okay.
That's what I have for
Is that
today.
all? Okay, the committee, one of the things that we'll do at the next meeting is talk about committee assignments, and I guess I think that we should want to be on the committees, not just appoint people to be on the committees. So if you look at those, you know, if you don't have a copy, Kelly can get you a copy of the committee assignments. And, yeah, I mean, you can look at, say, what your predecessor did, you know, but we wanna make sure everybody,
Who's interested in it,
yeah. And then some take some travel,
right?
you know, Region 5 and Blue Valley, or Blue Valley is typically a meeting at night, Region 5 is typically during the day. Well, it makes it tougher for some of us to get away to Lincoln during the day. So we just wanna work through those. So if you do have those, I'm sure that you can get to everybody, and we'll be tackling that at the next meeting. Other than I met with the district court and county court. There's some updates coming down that the state is actually gonna take care of. Those updates, audio, video, style updates, we'll have to do a little bit of construction. The first number I seen was to the tune between the two courtrooms of about $140,000 in updates that they're going to do. They had obviously hired a firm to do these in all counties across the state of Nebraska. So they're looking at 3 to 6 months, TVs, like I say, more speakers. I think it's to get obviously more of they use WebEx, we use OWL or Zoom. So we talked about that a little bit yesterday, and I'll get Cal involved at what needs to be done there. And there's actually a contract that I'll send to Gary to look at. Other than that, I wanted to touch on a little bit of the snow day that we did do last week. I know that seems to be talked about quite a bit, whether we do, whether we don't. You know, the chairman has the authority to make that call. Typically, I'm on the phone because Cal commutes in from Henderson at very early in the morning, between 5:30 and 6. Harvey, as we talked before, is out between 5:30. And I guess for me, this last week, what really pushed it for us to close the courthouse that Thursday was the fact that at 6 o'clock in the morning, the parking lots were not open. And if the parking lots aren't open, where are people gonna park? Well, they're gonna park right around the courthouse, and then people can't get to us anyway. So that's probably what pushed me over the edge to do that. So I guess next time I'll just call the city and make sure the parking lots are open right away. Because one of them was actually open by 8 o'clock, but, you know, we gotta give everybody a heads up. We still live in Nebraska. We still endure snow and weather. I mean, it's just the way it is. So we don't want anybody to get hurt, but that's kind of the process that we went through, that way again. Other than that, we're just business as usual. I think everything is going, pretty good right now. I'll let Kelly take a minute and explain what's gonna happen next week with our empty seat, if she'd like to.
Well, Gary and I and Megan met yesterday, so we did schedule a date for the interviews. They're in public, it's open meeting, so the public is welcome to come and listen, and that will be Monday at 5 o'clock. I did get it sent to the newspaper, should be in the paper tomorrow, and I'm sending out letters to all the interviewees today. So Monday at 5, if anybody wants to come and attend.
Say who they are.
Can I email those to you? I don't wanna miss anyone.
Sure.
Unless Gary, you can help me make sure.
I'm in the same boat. I don't have the list with me right now,
Mhm.
but there were 5.
There's 5, yes. I just don't wanna miss anyone.
So that'll take place Monday evening
In
and
here, and
it'll start and finish
it'll start and finish
Monday evening.
Monday. Starts at 5 here in the commissioner's room. We will make that decision that night and let everyone know.
It may be busy that night. I know Chris, our zoning administrator, was trying to line up a zoning committee meeting. He had set out 3 dates for those members. The 30th was one of those dates, so it could be a busy night in the courthouse that night. Okay, do you have anything else to report on? Okay, anybody else? Before we're gone? Okay, we'll adjourn as the Board of Commissioners. Got a few minutes before the Board of Equalization.
Monday?
Hey, all right.
I text her, I waited till 8 probably, 8, maybe even 9. I wanted to do it at 6, but I didn't think that'd be very good. Okay, we need to convene as the Board of Equalization. Roll call, please.
Rhodes,
Present.
Bear,
President.
Sykes,
Present.
Omenauer.
Present. Open meetings law is posted on the south side of our chambers, on our website, and also in the hallway outside of our chambers. Proof of publication was in the News Times, January 19th. It was also on our website. Next, we need to review and approve the minutes of the January 10th Board of Equalization meeting.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Bear,
Yes.
Sykes,
Yes.
Omenauer.
Yes, adopt today's agenda, gentlemen.
Move to approve.
Thank you, Jack.
Second.
Thank you, Daniel. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Sykes,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Bear,
Yes.
Omenauer.
Yes. Mr. Assessor, sir.
Yes,
Got a few of them.
Kirk Olgren, York County Assessor. I have some tax list corrections for you this morning. Do you guys have the sheet in front of you? Okay, the first two are, there's a grain bin that was, put on Mr. Didloff's property that should not have been put on there. So those first two corrections are taking it off of his. The next two corrections, 4 and 5, are putting the grain bin on the correct parcel. And so that's where they're just switching the value, it's same tax district, so it doesn't really change too much there. And then the last one that, I didn't get a number on that one, my apologies. That one, it was just a, parcels just got deleted inadvertently. So we'll put it back on and that'll be the corrected tax amount there, so. And that last one for the record is number 623R. And that's it.
Any questions?
Just curious what the R stands for in the numbers.
Real estate.
Okay.
So if there'll be any that come through for personal property, it'll be behind it.
Perfect.
So I did not create this, I totally stole this from Seward County, so.
Very good.
Very good. And once again, these are the copies you need signed,
Yep.
right? Okay,
Whatever, yep.
perfect.
Move
Okay.
to approve the tax roll corrections as presented by York County Assessor.
Thank you, Daniel.
Second.
Thank you, Stan. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Bear,
Yes.
Sykes,
Yes.
and Omenauer.
Yes. Anything else you want to, how's the first 3 weeks?
Oh, really good.
I hope so.
Yeah, we're actually doing a webinar right now this morning on the Property Assessment Division of Revenue, Department of Revenue on homestead exemptions. So that filing period will start here February 2nd, I believe. So that's a nice program that the state provides, keeps people in their homes. Other than that, we'll be having some permissive exemptions. There's like 3 of them, I believe, is new ones. That is all we're gonna have. What did we say, Kelly, the second meeting in February? So, and then the other one, I don't think all the other affirmations, I don't think I need to do anything with you guys on that one, but I can certainly provide a list for you if you guys would like that as well, so.
Maybe in electronic form.
Sure.
If you shoot it through Kelly, it'd be nice, because I know Ann did every year, but no, it's on a 4-year cycle.
Right, next year will be everyone will need to reapply again next year, so.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Everything else going good?
yeah,
The learning curve is curved?
it's up and down and left and right and forward and backward. And don't know enough yet not to know what I'm not knowing.
There you go.
Well, it looks to me like your former job, there was what, 800 and some bills introduced, so
Yeah,
I don't know if that's the norm, but that just seemed like a huge number to me.
yeah, maybe a little higher, I think, than normal, but I think, they're gonna do what they're gonna do.
That's right. Thank you, Kurt.
You betcha, thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, anything
Very
else,
good.
gentlemen? We'll be adjourned for the day.